Okay, time to look at global news. How exciting. No, really, it's okay. All right, so globalers, we got a week where it is what I like to call payoff week because it is raid time, and this time you are essentially looking at it's Dark Witch Helena's raid, right? Like, it may not seem like it, but it is absolutely. So you are going to be taking on the Red Giant, a very, from what I remember, this was just not a really big, difficult raid in my opinion. I don't remember it being one of the more annoying ones. More on that later. You guys got what I would consider to be a more annoying raid coming up in the future. But this one I think is just kind of fine. You're also going to be fighting the Chocolate Flan as the rare boss. And that is, also going to be fine. So taking a look at the Red Giant, he is a light element. He's weak to magic attacks. So that means essentially, it's dark time. So essentially, I mean, you guys have Dwan, you have Venera, you have Shadow Links. You can build a dark slash team and it will do well enough against this raid that I don't even think it's really worth worrying about. Kane, essentially, even if you went just dark mono element, I think you're really good. But, very clearly, I think there are two units that are going to really excel at this more than any others. Like, yes, there are some lower tier units. And unfortunately, you don't have Ramir yet, but you do have of course, the really obvious one. And Garble will also do an incredibly great job at this raid. If you have essentially a 120 of you-know-who, well, she who cannot be named, yes, Lady Voldemort, then essentially you're going to be looking at pretty much just easy street for going through this battle and just getting it done. And I'm Globaler seem to have a way easier time with raids than I do, so there you go. Just go ahead and do it. So what are you guys getting for all your trouble this time? Well, time to show off my mediocre piece of equipment from when I just really didn't do this raid back at the time, or I don't think I crafted this one. I think it's armor. Alright, who hit it? There it is. Okay, yeah, this is one that I didn't farm incredibly much, I guess, back at the time. Either that or something happened to my piece of equipment. Anyway, regardless, this is essentially what you are looking at getting for your hard work. So, I think this can be equipped by pretty much every class, or at least Wotv Calc has it essentially listed as every class. So getting up to a +5 gives you a big increase for HP, but only for so many turns. Increase of HP by 25% for 3 turns, which is an interesting little piece of equipment, because essentially in PvP, that can make a more defensive team essentially really good for a lot longer. You put this on, your tank or whatever, and, most PvP doesn't last too terribly long, so this is essentially pretty good. But other things you're looking at is stun resistance from this guy, and it's, that's pretty good. I'm not too worried about it. There is another piece of Flan equipment that I think is much more critical to end up getting than this one. I think it's the white Flan hat, which has let me just bring it up for a sec, because I do have it kicking around here. There it is. Confusion resistance, petrify resistance, poison resistance, and more importantly, paralyze resistance. That one also gives an increase of accuracy, but that overall, I've found, is way more important with the number of Marlboros just going up. So the Choco Flan is this kind of really interesting potential for, I think it has just more use for PvP style stuff. Maps, you usually have more time. You can control them yourself. I mean, maybe you're looking at this as potentially using this as just for an auto team, making them a little bit more durable. I have to say that, I mean, I don't think that this is a bad piece of equipment. I just don't really like it all that much. But if you have Black Witch Helena, Dark Witch Helena, Black Robed Witch, Dark Witch, Black Helena Witch, then all you can do is, I mean, you can essentially just farm this up as much as you want. Again, I think farming may be a little bit easier over there. But if you're feeling burnout, I don't think that this is necessarily the one you need to spend the most time on it. Should be noted that there are aim, critical, and shield versions. Shield having 14 defense and some critical avoid, or they all essentially have critical avoid on them, about 16, which isn't necessarily bad. The critical version I don't think is too exciting, and the aim version I also don't think is too exciting. I want to say that the shield version is the best, but I haven't done the legwork on that, so never you mind. But either way, I think that there are some interesting applications for this piece of equipment. So if you want to go for it, go for it. And now we're going to be talking about the vision card that you guys are going to be getting for this week. The new vision card, Ruby Guardian Carbuncle, of course, with an Esper included, but no batteries, because just like the 90s, apparently that is a rule here. Kind of lame joke, but it's fine. Taking a look at Ruby Guardian Carbuncle, it is essentially more of a magic-based summon, which is not, any kind of surprise. Party ability, you get missile attack resistance up, spirit up, debuff resistance up, and limited bestowed effects give magic and defense up with evade down, and gives Ruby Rejuvenation, a actual mace equipable effect, which recovers targets HP and raises CT. A nice little bonus coming off of this. In all honesty, I think that this vision card is just really, really nice. I think it has practical uses in the future. I think that the summon also has good pairing in the future. There was some unit that I was remembering recently, I think it's Jaden, where combined with this Esper, you could, and specific pieces of equipment, you could probably get incredibly close to 100 or higher missile resistance, which is a good combination. And I mean, if you just look at this summon as being put on a lot of different characters, looking at his Esper board, you're looking at light attack up, higher TP, increased magic attack, dark killer, demon killer, missile resistance, accuracy, and some critical evasion. All of that is essentially a pretty good get for a lot of different characters. You could put it on Elsie. Obviously, Yuna is a big one that you could put it on, Sakura. But you can even throw this on other units just if you want the missile resistance up and just potentially going on the TP and increasing a light attack. This summon becomes, much more works with any character, potentially working with Ramza and Elsie for their propensity to be either magic-based characters or physical-based characters. I really like Carbuncle as this general kind of fits a lot of different light characters. It's just a good summon all around. So yeah, the Esper is pretty good. Also, interestingly enough, from casting his ability, you're going to be getting a few things. Reflect magic skills for 3 turns on allies, which is kind of a potential interest for certain pieces of content. You could essentially get that. Increases healing power, decreases light resistance, and of course gives some of the bonuses for light characters and other characters, but bigger for light. So yeah, I think Carbuncle is a pretty solid get. I mean, when you look at other vision cards that are boosts, sometimes I feel like they can be a little bit lacking for you potentially saving up for stuff in the future. But I think that almost always getting a Esper is always just and I said always too much, it's just a good get. So yeah, I would 100% recommend Carbuncle, not only because he's just so damn ding dong dang likable, but and just so ding dong dang cute, But he's a really solid summon for the light element, and I think he will have good uses. For anyone who's looking forward to Jaden in the future, this is just a very good summon to get now for the low price of, you know, the 10k or whatever you gotta pay for to get him on global. I think those banners are still around, but not an expert. And it looks like we have a little bit of a date for the FF1 collaboration to be coming back, which is 6/16 and going to 7/13. This is good for a couple of pieces, I mean, this is essentially what Globalers should expect if you haven't already started expecting this for collaborations. Collaborations last a long time now, potentially give you good ways of raising these characters a lot more, and it kind of makes sense seeing that collaborations are fairly spaced out, so you can, you know, you got some time to essentially go with this character. But yeah, Warrior of Light coming back with the new light-based sword is a good get for all those light characters, both past, present, and future. And, you know, potentially also you can get Carbuncle to go with this guy as well. But he will be coming after Carbuncle, and it is really, really close. That date is incredibly close, I think, to the Square Enix press conference, where, as someone rightly pointed out, I think I got switched between Team Ninja and Ninja Theory. Doesn't really matter to me until that game is officially announced as whoever's making it. That's just kind of interesting. But again, I think that this could be worked in as being a start around the same time that that new game, the FF1 style Dark Souls game, gets announced, or whatever it actually turns out being. Final Fantasy Origins, I think, was the rumored name. This kind of lends credence to that. Just could be good timing on the part of everyone involved, and the marketing guys going, ho ho ho, we're so clever. But looks like you will also get some free chances on Global to get a Warrior of Light. Much like the JP side, when these, we got some free pulls when Warrior of Light came back, and Warrior of Light and Death Machine was included in that. To quote Gandalf, though, from Lord of the Rings, there never was much hope, just a fool's hope. So you should not be expecting to get Warrior of Light off of this. The rates are not boosted from what I can remember, at least on the JP side. I didn't get them. I even threw, I think, a small amount of Lapis trying to maybe get Warrior of Light again. This is a character who just is never coming to my account. But maybe he will come to yours, and you have an entire month to build him. Or, you know, pretty darn close. I think it's just under the... So yeah, that's about it for this video. Some stuff definitely for Globalers. I don't think you should sleep on the raid. Even if you didn't get Dark Witch, I think you can run a Dark / team and be totally fine with that. And looks like you got some free summons coming up for a collaboration, and we'll see what happens at E3. Might have to do a special Intervisions episode to talk about some E3 stuff. But yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. And if you want, are you going for him? Warrior of Light, your dude. Get the Carbuncle. Look at that face. He's adorable. You don't get him, you're a monster. Just a big old monster.